Hi everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the Book Refuge. And oh boy, we have a lot to talk about in this February TBR. And if you are a regular on my channel, this one will seem a little different than normal. I actually did go ahead and pick what our buddy read is going to be for this month. So there won't be a poll just because you're about to see I have a very large TBR. I'm very excited about it, but it is the biggest one that I have planned for myself in quite a long time because I usually like to give myself a lot more wiggle room. And like I will have wiggle room because you'll see, but I just went ahead and like chose for us which book we are going to buddy read because it's an author that I'm really liking and I want to encourage people to read her. But we'll get to that later on. So first thing I want to talk about, and maybe why some of you are here if this video was shared to you because of it, but I'm going to be participating in and helping with Fantasy Romance February, or FaRoFeb. So if you've been following my Instagram, and yeah, mostly my Instagram, you might have seen a few posts about this, as well as if you are a subscriber, you might have seen a couple of live shows like pop up on my channel because I created the events and everything. But this is going to be a month-long fantasy romance read along, and I will have links to the website down below because I'm really bad at explaining things. But I was reached out by Harriet Moore, who is a fantasy author herself, and in collaboration with a lot of authors and readers, we're going to be doing a month-long read along. There is 2 bingo boards to choose from. There is going to be reading sprints, which I'll be hosting some of those. There's going to be author interviews. There's going to be a whole bunch of fun stuff happening on Instagram and on YouTube. So I'm very excited to be participating in this, and I can't wait to see what happens because February has a couple of great releases coming out, and it's also an opportunity to maybe read some fantasy romance that have been on your TBR that you haven't got around to. So I wanted to announce specifically the events that like I'm involved in, but again, I will link the website down below, and there's a full schedule, and if you follow FaRoFeb on Instagram, they're going to have the full schedule linked as well. But the things that I'm going to be involved in, let me pull up the schedule because there's a lot. So I'm going to specifically be involved with like the Tuesday events, and then I have an author interview that I'm doing on Valentine's Day, which we'll get to. So the first thing that I'm involved in, oh, also there's a different author highlighted every day on the FaRoFeb. So this will be a great way to find new fantasy romance authors that maybe you don't know. So that's really exciting. So the first thing that I'm involved in is on February 9th. I'm going to be hosting a reading sprint on my channel. I may have some guests with me, not sure who yet, but I did already create the event. So it's going to be at 5 p.m. Central. If you're a part of our weekly like romance read-alongs too, this one's going to be taking place before it. So you could end up reading along with everybody all day if you want to, but this one's going to be at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern for about an hour. We're just going to do like a reading sprint, and if I have a guest, we'll chat. If not, it'll just be me, and we'll just read along a little bit. And then on Valentine's Day, I'm going to have an interview with Juliet Cross. This is Sunday, February 14th. I am beyond excited for this. I actually have been chatting with Juliet a little bit in Instagram. She's reading a few of my favorite books right now. And I'm like so excited to talk with her live with you guys. This will be at 5 p.m. Central on a Sunday. Who knows how long this one will be. But again, on the website, you can set up a reminder so that you remember. And then on the 16th, there will be another reading sprint on my channel. This one will be at 8 p.m. Central, so it'll take place after the romance read-along one. And yeah, so it'll be at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, so you can take advantage of that. And then I forgot to mention that the first Tuesday of the month and the last Tuesday of the month, let me go back to it, sorry. I'm looking at the computer for these, so I apologize. Yes, we're going to be doing check-ins on Instagram. And there's also going to be a few sprints hosted by other YouTubers too. Like I said, I'm just going over mine. But it'll be with me and Heather. We're going to do an Instagram live at 11:30 a.m. So during my lunch break, we'll just do a quick check-in and see how you're doing getting started with the Readathon and everything. So those are the dates that I'm involved in. The link to the website and the schedule and the Instagram for it will all be listed down below. But let's talk about what this means for books, because you are here for my TBR. So I'm not going to go over every single prompt with you in this one, but I did, like, you guys know what my stupid boards look like because I can't print anything out at home, but I have the two boards just like written down here. Here's the graphic of them. They're beautiful. You can choose one or both of them. And then I have, I think, 10 books picked for this. And like I said, this will be a little bit of wiggle room because it depends on my mood and how it goes. Like, I usually can't read too many fantasies in a row. Now, there are some like paranormal fantasy mixed together. If you read the description of what they are including as fantasy romance, they do talk about that there will be some that we would maybe call paranormal, but they have fantasy elements as well. And so we want to include rather than exclude. So we're including things that maybe like I normally wouldn't put on a fantasy romance rec list, but they work as like there's magic of some sort, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to quickly go through my TBR that I put together for this. As we get closer to the event, you know, I'll start posting things on Instagram and you'll see what specific prompts that I mean for it. But the prompts on the board, there's some really great ones. There's like a low fantasy option. There is a love triangle, FaRoFeb author, indie author, like there's a whole bunch of great things on here. And they do give you like 2 options for that. And they're just 9x9 squares. So you can go for an easy one or you can go for a big one. So let's go ahead and I'll show you the books that I have. So I am doing a reread of A Touch of Stone and Snow by Milla Vane. A few of my friends are going to be reading this for the first time. Specifically, I think Crystal is. You know that this wouldn't be a Jenn TBR if I didn't have obsessive amounts of buddy reads with Crystal. Because, you know, BFFs for life, it's a thing. But she's going to be reading this one in this month, and a few of my other friends will be reading it for the first time as well. I give a lot of love to A Heart of Blood and Ashes, deservedly so. It's a fantastic book, but I want to start hyping up this second book as well because it has a different but equally beautiful love story. It has a badass female character again, only this time she is physically strong. She's actually a mercenary and she is kind of like a sword for hire for protection. And she gets given a special mission by Vila to protect the first person that she sees when she walks out of Vila's hall. Well, it ends up being the first person she sees is her ex-lover who's there with a group who is going on a mission, and she pretends that she actually saw the princess behind him, but really she saw him. So she ends up going on this expedition with him. The hero is a alpha cinnamon roll for sure. He also has a pet a companion saber-toothed tiger who is sentient, and I just can't like squawk about that enough because I love it. So it's time to hype up the next book. The third one's coming out in June or July, I believe. And it's time to get people on this. So I'm going to be rereading this book. Then I might as well tell you the other books I'm planning to read with Crystal since we're there. I'm going to be finishing my reread of A Court of Wings and Ruin since I also plan to read, I want to reread A Court of Frost and Starlight as well. And Crystal and I are going to be rereading these ones because A Court of Silver Flames comes out halfway through the month. And you can bet your sweet ass that I'm going to read that the day that it comes out. I hope so. Actually, I'm starting a new job probably soon, so maybe I won't have as much time, but it's going to get read as soon as I can possibly make it happen. So these are definitely going to be on my TBR to be reread. I have the audio for this one, and I'll probably buy it for this one too. I had been doing rereads of these last year, and then I kind of got like burned out in the middle of this one just because I was like, I don't need to read this yet. The next one doesn't come out for like a year. And now we're here, so it's time to do this reread. These covers I actually got in a special subscription box. They have the characters on them, and they're absolutely gorgeous. But I think I might put my original covers back on, though, because I miss them. Then I have a couple of the FaRoFeb authors that I'm going to try to read. I have Jeff Kennedy, or I don't know how you pronounce this. I think it's Jeff Kennedy. I have The Orchid Throne. This one is supposed to be about a queen named Leah who will do anything to keep her people free and her secrets safe from the mad tyrant who rules the mainland. Guided by a magic ring of her father's Leah plays the political game with the cronies the Emperor sends to her island. In her heart, she knows that it's up to her to save herself from the fate as the Emperor's bride. But in her dreams, she sees a man, one with the power to build a better world, a man whose spirit is strong and whose passion is as fierce as her crown. So she's going to be trying to find a prince. I actually had my eye on this book for a long time, and I purchased book 1 and 2, and then I was asked to do FaRoFeb, and I was like, perfect. Also, there is Maria Vale. This is The Last Wolf, and it's book 1 in the Legend of the Wolves. This one is, it says this: if I return to my pack, the stranger will die. Silver Nostaldor, don't know how to say that, is at the bottom of her pack's social order with little chance of a decent mate and a better life. But if I stay, I'm gambling that the shifter and I are strong enough for the fight. Until a wounded stranger stumbles into their territory and Silver decides to risk everything. But Tiberius Leroux is more than he seems, and in a fragile balance of pack and wild, he may tip the destiny of all wolves. So this is a shifter romance. That's amazing. Some what's it called? Ebooks that I want to try to read. There is The Rising Wave and The Turncoat King. I actually received a copy of this book from the author because she's one of the FaRoFeb authors, Michelle Diener. Sorry if I say that wrong. I'm going to try to read that one. Soulfire by Julia Cross. So I'm going to be interviewing Juliet, and I've only read the Stay a Spell books, and I've heard that some of her backlist is a bit darker and like sexier, and well, maybe not sexier, but darker. And so I want to try to read that. The main character of Soulfire is actually Jessin. The name is Jessin, so that's kind of cool. I still need to read Deadly Dreams by KJ Sutton. I've seen that the paperback's going to be available soon. I really want to read that book in paperback, so I will if I get that. And then I need to read Radiance by Grace Draven. I freaking had that book forever, and it's time to do it. And then Queen of Empire by H.R. Moore, that's Harriet, who is the one who asked me. And I was also given a copy of this book quite a while ago, and I need to read that one. So Harriet, I'm going to try. I'm sorry that it's taken me so long, but this is the readathon that I needed to kick me in the butt. So those are all the books that I plan to read because of FaRoFeb, or I'm going to try to read because of FaRoFeb. I'm very excited about that. Again, please check down below for more info. You have all month to do a bingo board. You could just read a couple, but I'm really excited. Fantasy romance is one of my favorite like subgenres of romance, and it makes me really excited. So then a couple other buddy reads that I have going on. So I'm going to be reading Dreaming by Jill Barnett. I read the first book, Bewitching, with my friend Shay back in like November, December. And this is actually a low fantasy book because it's a fantasy historical romance. So I may include this in my FaRoFeb as well. But the first book was absolutely delightful. I loved it so much. This author just gives me all the warm and fuzzy feelings. Like, that book was so sweet and so sexy, and I just loved it so much. So this one says this: most English girls meet their heart's desire across a crowded ballroom or in a genteel parlor. Letitia Olive Hornsby finds hers when she knocks him out of a tree. A curly-haired, blue-eyed hellion of only 11, she decides even then that Richard, the dashing, handsome, and totally disreputable son of the Earl of Lennox, is the white knight of her dreams. Ooh, that's cute. Now fully grown and unexpectedly beautiful, interesting, Letty is spinning a plan to save Richard from himself by marrying him, of course, and soon he has the bruises to prove it. The insufferable, albeit unforgettable chit has come back into Richard's life with a crash, literally falling into his arms. He is struck by her softness, her dizzying scent, and her impossible meddling in his ruinous drinking, gambling, and amorous liaisons. But when fate makes them prisoners of a ring of dangerous smugglers, Richard discovers in his mischievous cellmate a pure romantic, questing spirit that sparks a flame in his shadowed heart. If only they can escape, a wondrous passion can blaze free, and they can find a lifetime's adventure in each other's arms. So I don't know if this one also has magic in it. It's in like a duology with Bewitching, so we'll see. But I really want to read it. I found a pretty copy of it. It's a little beat up because it used to be a library copy, but it's beautiful. So I'm going to read that one with Shay. Then I'm doing a buddy read with one of my subscribers who also is in my Discord, and it's Justin, and we are going to be reading a Joanna Lindsay, because when I posted my video of authors that I want to read in 2021, he also said that there was a bunch of these books that he had, and so we went ahead and picked Heart of a Warrior by Joanna Lindsay. this will be only my like third Joanna Lindsay. I always go into them with a good plan because I know that there is such a disparity between, like there's such a difference between some of her best works and some of the works that people don't like. So I'm always willing to give another one a go. So this one has this beautiful step back. I love the red silk. So we're going to give this one a go. And I love that it has like male, like this is male armor heart with a rose sticking through it. So we're going to try this one. Then I have my books for the Rake Appreciation Society, which is with Crystal. And we are going to be reading the Scandal and Scoundrels series by Sarah MacLean. If you are not a part of our book club, what have you been doing? The link for the Discord will be down below. We read Julia Quinn this month, and it was so much fun. And so we have a really special thing going with these this month. We are actually moving the live show to the last weekend in February so that you have time to read all 3 of these. As you can see, like, I believe Crystal's also doing FaRoFeb, so we have a lot of books to read. But we are going to be doing the book club on the 27th, which I believe is a Saturday, and then the 28th, we are actually going to have an interview and chat with Sarah MacLean, which will be on my channel. So book club will be on Crystal's channel, and the live show with Sarah will be on my channel. We just decided to split it up like that this time. It'll be great. So the events for those will be created soon, and yeah, we'll definitely put up a poll later to see if you have questions for Sarah or anything like that. But we are so excited and so thankful to Sarah for being so gracious as agreeing to come talk with us. Like, I was a huge fan of the person Sarah MacLean before I ever read a book by her. And the more I've read of her, the more I've loved her. Even though she's not completely my style, I love her books. They have been great. And I'm very excited to read this one. This book was actually Crystal's like favorite romance of 2020, and she didn't even read the other 2 before reading it. I'm like, if it was your favorite after just reading this one, I'm pumped. Like, I'm pumped. So gonna read those. Secret TBR, if I end up having the time, we'll see. I am gonna try to read her the 9 Rules books, because then I'll have read all of her books by the time I talk to her, but we'll see. I'm not feeling the pressure to do that because I think Crystal's going to try to read those ones. So then at least she will have read them all and it'll be good. All right. And then the last books I'm going to talk about. So I did go ahead and pull my cards ahead of time this time just because it works better and I can really base my prompt cards off of my other lists of things that I want to get to. So I do have 3 prompts that I pulled out of my TBR prompt thing. These were prompts that I got from you guys on Instagram and from my YouTube videos. So I have these cards and here's what I have. So how are we going to do this? So let's go with this one first. So I'm going to read a book from your backlist, and this was sent to me by Pretty Dang Cool. Sorry. I can't read my writing. I wrote like who sent these to me, but I use the sloppiest handwriting possible because I'm a garbage sometimes. But for this prompt, I'm actually going to pick Desolation Road because I need to get this book read so that I can read the arc of Reckless Road that I have. I'm really excited. This one's about Absinthe and Scarlet. I have an up and down relationship with the series. The first one was just okay. The second one I really loved. The third one I like DNF'd, but I believe it's this one that my friend Shay said has some very interesting things in it, some sexy things that I might like. So I'm definitely going to try to do that, and then I need to get to Reckless Road as soon as I can. So I'm going to try to read this. Then there was read a book published before 2005, and Victoria Maria actually gave me that prompt, so thanks, Victoria. She is a channel member, so thank you so much. And I actually am excited to read. When I checked the date, it just fits. So this one was written in 2004, and this is Legendary Warrior. And from what I can discover, this is actually Donna Fletcher's first book. So I have read her Sinclair Brothers series, and I have read Bound to a Warrior. I plan to continue the Warrior King series as well, but I wanted to read another Donna Fletcher, and this one takes place with 2005, so it totally works. This one says, A Legendary Love is Born. Her book covers are always fantastic. Rena Cullen grew up listening to tales of the one they called the Legend, a merciless warrior who is both feared and respected. So when her village is devastated by a cruel landlord, she knows in her heart that Legend is the only one who can rescue her people. But the flesh and bone man is even more powerful and sinuous than the hero she imagined. Magnus is fascinated by this petite, bold beauty who has come to him for help. He cannot refuse her, for she has stirred fires within him as no woman before. Yet another reason impels him to keep the lady close, a secret that could threaten everything she loves. If she uncovers his dark mysteries, will Rena shun the handsome devil she has bargained with, or will she surrender completely to a fierce and dangerous passion? And this book is going to be our buddy read for February. So I always do a buddy read with my channel, and this time, sorry, you don't get a vote on it because I have very specific things to read this month, so I understand if you don't want to do it. But the link for my Discord is always down below, and I always have a little tab that's for my buddy reads. And this time we're going to be reading Donna Fletcher. We're going to read her first book. It's called Legendary Warrior, so give yourself some time to get a hold of this book. I don't know if this one's in audio, but she has great audiobooks, and I just love her heroes, and I want to push people to read them, so I'm making an executive decision and choosing what the buddy read will be, and it's going to be this one. And then the last book from my list was one that is read an author you've never read before. And so this prompt was given to me by Shan Reads, so thank you so much. And I'm going to pick an author from my authors I want to read in 2021. And so I'm going to do it. I'm going to start the Sinster series by Stephanie Lawrence, and I'm going to read Devil's Bride. So this is the first book in the Sinster series, and this is when Devil, the Duke of St. Ives, and the most infamous member of the notorious Sinster family is caught in a compromising position with a plucky governess, Honoria Weatherby, he astonishes the ton by proposing marriage. No one ever dreamed this scandalous rogue would ever take a bride. Honoria, however, isn't about to bend to society's demands and marry a man simply because they're discovered together, unchaperoned. She craves adventure and longs to see the world, and though she's more than happy to assist him in solving the murder of a young sinister cousin, once the crime is put to rest, she intends to bid Devil farewell forever. But she underestimates the seductive power of this daring, dangerous man and the scalding heat of her own unsated desire. Does she dare let passion carry her into Devil's embrace and in the most perilous, rapturous adventure of them all? So this is me reading a Stephanie Lawrence as well as jumping on this train, which I'm really scared about because it's a lot of books, but that could also be really fun. So there we go. All right, there we go. That is my February TBR. This is the largest amount of books that I've put on the TBR in a long time. I think I can do it because I read 50 to 70 books a month, so it's not like it's impossible, but it feels like a lot. Let's see if we can get it all in frame. Those are the physical ones anyway. So there's also a bunch of new releases coming out this month. I mean, I mentioned the Sarah J. Maas, but there's also the Raquel of Roth, Waiting for a Scot Like You, and Dancing with Danger, which I will probably want to read all of those ones. So we'll see what happens. But thank you so much for watching this. Again, make sure you check out FaRoFeb. I am so excited for it to happen. It's going to be so great. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.